Is climate the worst casualty of war? Dr. Brian wants us all to know the answer. The money misspent on the Iraq War, a war for oil, let's not forget, could have purchased the planetary conversion to renewable energy. Just sit with that for a moment. I'm sitting with it on my dog shit covered shoes. How do you clear a room of climate activists? Tell them there's free granola. Am I right? Huh? I'm making fun of myself there. Start talking about war. It's not just environmentalists that leave, it's pretty much everyone. Mission accomplished by the Bush administration, which sent the military and their families to war and the rest of the country to an amusement park. The military-civilian divide has been called an epidemic of disconnection, but the biosphere doesn't see uniforms and the environmental devastation caused by bombs, burn pits, and depleted uranium. Yeah, depleted uranium, that's something we love to kind of not talk about, but depleted uranium is a war crime. And we use that in other countries. The United States uses that, and that causes gross birth defects. And one of the only people in office that would talk about depleting uranium is Jim McDermott up in Seattle. And there's a song called Depleted Uranium is a War Crime by the band Anti-Flag, a political punk band from they have the same hometown as me, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Anyway, there will be no exemptions in the coming climate collapse. We've all got skin in the war game now. The cost of America's post-9/11 wars is approaching $6 trillion. And the price tag will continue to climb right along with sea levels, temperatures, atmospheric CO2, and methane, a particularly potent greenhouse gas. Religious communities are mobilizing on the behalf of the healing and protection of the planet. Which religious communities are you referring to? Because the ones that vote for the GOP, no matter who the candidate is, and never hear anybody with a D next to their name, even though that person might be an actual progressive, I don't know how they're helping. But with few exceptions, such as MLK's Poor People's campaigns, resurrected by a trio of ministers, the topic of America's literal war on the world is still off the table. I don't really care what Pope Francis had to say, so we can skip through that. I don't care what that guy has to say because he says nice things and then nothing changes, so I could care less what he has to say. The Pentagon uses more petroleum per day than the aggregate consumption of 175 countries out of 210 in the world. Let's repeat that sentence. The Pentagon uses more petroleum per day than the aggregate consumption of 175 countries out of 210 in the world. Wow. So not only is war killing people, not only is war kneecapping the domestic economy in the United States and kneecapping the economies of other places around the world, not only does war cause casualties and pain and death and destruction, it's also destroying our environment. And we have an economy based around it. And nobody gives a shit. Nobody. It should be every day there should be a headline. U.S. still has an economy based on war. That should be a daily headline. In every corporate outlet, every independent outlet, everywhere. That should just be a daily headline. Daily headline, U.S. still has an economy based on war. Still, economy based on war. And if you decide you can't vote for war anymore, you get shamed for it. You get called a Russian spy for it. That's not compromise. Hey, here's a warmonger and a more subtle warmonger. And because of all this war, you're never going to get any of the programs you want in this country. Not to mention it's morally disgusting, but pick one of them. Which is the lesser evil? Pick your lesser bully and shut the hell up. That's politics. All right, Dr. Brian. You made us all really frickin' depressed. No, that was a great article. Thank you for sharing it.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your